Hello my good friends, welcome to the channel Digimon Explained. My name is Jesse and in this video we're going to be talking about a Digimon species that pretty much is an entire army. Or rather, a Digimon species that exists by the many. I'm talking about Maymon and its brethren. Now before getting into the details, I do want to clarify a few things first. Four in fact. Firstly, note that I never really say Maymon for reasons I don't even know. I always say Mamemon. Must have something to do with the other languages I speak. So if you catch me saying Mamemon instead of Maymon, please be kind. Secondly, while there are many Maymon variants, I'm not going to discuss the X variants. That's for a separate video. Thirdly, and this is just a little side note, Maymon is a mutant type Digimon. This group of Digimon has always been very mysterious in terms of where they got their powers from or what their origins is all about. We did theorize a little bit about it in the explaining Thundermon Digivolution line video, link of which is in the description box. We said that mutant Digimon might possibly have gotten their strength from ancient Wisemon, but that's the theory. Someday we're going to make a video explaining mutant type Digimon because they sure are among the most mysterious type out of the bunch. Fourth and final point, the word Mame in Maymon is Japanese for bean, which can be the seed of several plants which are used as vegetables for human and animal food. Yummy yummy. So, to better understand the Maymon line, we will have to get back to its rookie form, as Maymon is an ultimate level Digimon. See, at the core, Maymon began as an Elecmon, a mammal with 9 tails and one who loves to shoot thunderbolts whenever it feels threatened, which also explains its name, Elec being a reference to electricity. There was one Elecmon who evolved differently. An Elecmon who changed variants and became Vi-Elecmon or Vi-Elecmon, a virus species Digimon meaning a Digimon who devours data. Evil Digimon who seek to modify the surrounding environment according to their wishes. And as a Vi-Elecmon, it gained an indiscriminately and unpleasant personality. It can dexterously use its electrically charged tails to strike basically whoever it feels like striking. The thing virus species Digimon love to do. Now, once Elecmon digivolves, it will become the champion level Thundermon, with Thunder being a reference to, you guessed it, Thunder. Thundermon is very different to Vi-Elecmon. The appearance changed entirely and it went from being a mammal species to a mutant species. It also went from a Digimon with the virus attribute to a Digimon with the data attribute. These are Digimon who just exist according to the already established environment and don't do much to change it. These Digimon can be good or evil but generally value peace above all. What caused this change remains a mystery. Was there some external intervention or was it the internal data that was simply different? Who knows. We have no explanation about the change, however, we can say that Thundermon's data has led to a variety of quote-unquote offsprings or variants. We'll get to that in a moment. Thundermon is known as the Digimon Dynamo. Its body has the properties of a magnet and magnets and electricity are closely related. Flowing electrons produce a magnetic field and spinning magnets cause an electric current to flow. For Thundermon, it means that its body is clad in electricity and it can discharge electricity at various volts. For example, it can fire spheres of discharged electricity as much as 10 million volts at opponents who are coming to attack it. Aside of that, it can throw electric bombs at the enemies and interestingly, Thundermon is also very good in close range combat. Size doesn't always matter. Now, interestingly for all of you, it is said that Thundermon is conjectured to be a member of the known Mamemon species. We are going to explain all of them in this video and we will start with Thundermon's ultimate form, Maymon itself. Maymon is a Thundermon who digivolved in a harsh environment. It adapted and took on this form. It still looks like a Thundermon but minus the colors and with some major and some minor changes. Sure, it looks cute, but don't let it fool you. Maymon conceals a terrifying destructive force. In fact, it might even be among the strongest members of the Mamemon species. The large hands attached to its small body are capable of detaching themselves and turn into powerful bombs. That is why Maymon was nicknamed the Smiley Bomber, as the bombs will fly towards the enemy and detonate the moment they hit him. But it doesn't need to just rely on the bombs though. Maymon is an excellent close-range combatant. Here is where it's going to get interesting. Maymon is the type of Digimon that has many variants at the ultimate level. It also has a couple of related Digimon who do not fall under the Maymon line but still bear some pretty remarkable similarities, and you have Maymon variants who reached the Mega level. Let us get over all of them. First Maymon variant we are going to discuss is BigMamemon. It is still a mutant Digimon at the ultimate level, but it is also categorized as an abnormal type of Digimon. Abnormal probably because the reason for its size is unclear, even if there are a few theories about it. It is suggested that BigMamemon is an aggregation of Maymon, a combination of many Maymon. And what proves that BigMamemon might be an aggregation is by simply taking into account its attack when it uses its Maymon followers themselves as weapons. It's rumored that after using this technique, BigMamemon's size gets smaller. Speaking of size, I presume that it is because of its size that BigMamemon is considered to be the boss of Maymon. And as a boss, it is quite kind. Its personality is extremely gentle and it hates conflict and battle. So it is always playing with its Maymon followers. What I find so interesting is that normally Maymon are about the same size as rookie Digimon, and yet they possess a degree of power that couldn't even be imagined from their appearance. But BigMamemon is dozens or even hundreds of times the size of Maymon, so I'm kind of wondering how much more powerful it will be. Another variant is the android Digimon Metalmon. It is a Maymon who digivolved further in strength. 9/10 of its body is mechanized and it now has the Psycho Blaster equipped to its left arm. The blaster possesses tremendous destructive force which is able to reliably bring down opponents. Metalmon can also fire a magnetic beam with unspecified capabilities, so as usual, if one is deceived by its cute appearance they will have a terrible experience. Another Maymon variant is the ultimate level CatchMamemon, a Digimon resulting from the Digivolution of Maymon after it was fused with the data from a file management software. And that file software defined its entire personality and nature. It gained a serious personality and an uncompromising side and seems to think that managing Digi-Eggs is its duty. And for rather unknown reasons, CatchMamemon gained the strange power to either change Digimon into stuffed animals or to turn caught Digimon into bombs when its slots show 3 sevens. And that same bomb can be used by CatchMamemon, and the power of the blast will depend on the strength of the captured Digimon. Another ultimate level variant of Maymon is TyraMamemon, another mutant Digimon and the carrier of the X-Antibody. What I find so interesting about TyraMamemon is that it used a similar technique to that of Gabumon, who basically took the data of a Garurumon and shaped it into a fur pelt to wear, which, as we theorized, made it digivolve into Garurumon instead. This would mean that Gabumon without fur would high probably have digivolved into another Digimon, and we did discuss the possibilities in various videos. Heck, we even discussed a fan-made Digivolution for Gabumon without fur. All the Gabumon related theoretical videos are in the description box. So, TyraMamemon condensed TYRANNOMON's data into its tiny body, pushing its ferocious nature and combat instinct to the surface, where they have strikingly manifested in its behavior. While its body may be tiny, like most Maymon variants, rather than assaulting opponents en masse, it always acts by itself, swooping down on Digimon roaming its own territory without wasting breath on discussion, and always making a show of being the strongest in its domain. However, because its body is tiny, its territory is not very wide. Unlike TYRANNOMON, a Digimon we discussed thoroughly in its own video, link of which is in the description box, TyraMamemon cannot use fire-based attacks. However, what did increase is its physical strength, which condensed several hundredfold into its tiny body. Now, it has a tenacious jaw that can crunch even super hard armor at super speed. TyraMamemon also possesses fighting strength that surpasses even that of gigantic dinosaur Digimon, earning it the nickname Small Tyranny, as it became feared by many. Before speaking about the mega level variants, there are two other Digimon who are related to the Maymon species but aren't officially part of the group. There is Giromon and Tekkamon. Giromon is an ultimate level machine type Digimon that patrols within the computer network while floating lightly in the air. Its role gave it the nickname Net Keeper. It is surely a frightening Digimon, as when it judges an intruding Digimon to be an opponent, it will repel them with all the attacks it is able to master. One of its ways to attack, aside of using its chainsaw, is to throw a super powerful hand grenade. And this is where you can find the link between Maymon and Giromon, is the fact that they both love to use bombs. Maymon's bomb is called Smiley Bomb, whereas Giromon's is called Deadly Bomb. The difference between the two, however, is that if Giromon is driven into a predicament, it will completely annihilate the intruder by blowing itself up. In response to Giromon, an evil hacker created Tekkamon, another machine Digimon created to destroy programs. Tekkamon wears a mask made of iron and glares at its enemies with sharp eyes. Just like Maymon, it is small, but if you underestimate its power, you'll be defeated in a second with its sword. And speaking of its sword, it can cut the enemy's configuration data in half with a sword that possesses terrifying sharpness. And you know what? If the energy around the sword is electricity, then we have a good link to Thundermon. But aside of that, Tekkamon can also use bombs, like many of the Mamemon species. It does possess an interesting magic which is unique to it. It has a technique called reverse engineering, in which it can lower an enemy's attack and convert it into MP. Quite interesting, don't you think? Now that we have discussed all the ultimate variants of Maymon, we are going to explain the mega level variants. First one is Tonosama Mamemon, a mega level mutant Digimon. It is a Maymon that read the image data of a Jidaigeki and mutated. A Jidaigeki is a genre of film, television, video game and theater in Japan. It literally means period dramas. They show the lives of the samurai, farmers, craftsmen and merchants of their time. And many of the Jidaigeki took place in the Edo period of the Japanese history from 1603 to 1868. And now, as a Tonosama Mamemon, it became easygoing and always cheerful, dragging along in its hakama, a type of traditional Japanese clothing. The clothing is hard to walk about in, so it constantly trips over, which causes it to roll and get tangled up in it, bringing laughter to those who see it and brightening their spirits. Tonosama Mamemon is so broad-minded in that it will accept any Digimon that comes to its castle, but once a Digimon that disturbs the area around the castle appears, it will punish them without mercy while rolling. When taking into account its background profile, it may look like a weak Digimon, but that's the mistake. When you look at its abilities, it has some very interesting tools. For example, it can unleash cherry blossoms from its fan. The cherry blossoms scattered mysteriously can cause a Digimon to lose the will to fight. The problem is that the cherry blossoms can easily be affected by the wind and will fail to reach the enemy when the headwinds are blowing against it. It also has a very interesting technique with its fan where it is capable of repelling any attack from the enemy. Then there is the other mega level mutant variant called PrinceMamemon, and this one came to be after a Maymon took in the data on the net concerning a royal family, essentially making it the prince of the Maymon world. Unlike its other Maymon brethren, it sports a yellow color. It partnered with King ETEMON, a Digimon we have explained thoroughly in its own video, link towards it is in the description box. And now, PrinceMamemon plays the part of a mock royal family of the digital world, and that's why it looks so gorgeous. Although its personality isn't awful, it was incited by King ETEMON and is now convinced that it truly is a member of the royal family. The embarrassing thing is that it considers even the royal knights to be its subordinates. Just like all other Maymon, you cannot underestimate PrinceMamemon despite its appearance. It still boasts tremendous destructive power, since it still is a mega level after all. It can unleash an intense headbutt without breaking its smile, and it can rain down purple roses. Depending on what Digimon media we are using, the purple roses are in fact heavy poisonous rain. And just in case, Purple Rain is a 1984 American rock musical drama film scored by and starring the musician Prince in his acting debut. God rest his soul, happy to know that even its influence can be felt throughout the Digimon digital world. It is said that because of PrinceMamemon, Automamon X looked forward to a promising future with its round body and was gifted the gorgeous crown. Furthermore, it also taught Automamon X its signature move, Smiley Headbutt. As far as we can tell, PrinceMamemon is not a carrier of the X-ANTIBODY, meaning that it might be among those Digimon who died when the X program was launched. But its crown is still there, showing that it still had a lasting impact on at least one Digimon. But luckily, there are other Maymon who did survive the X program, as they are carriers of the X-ANTIBODY, and the X-ANTIBODY I explained it in a separate video, the link towards it is in the description box. And you know what? Considering Maymon's ways of mutating, they could and probably will rebuild an entire Maymon legion after the X program was launched. To finish, we have BanchoMamemon, one of the Digimon that acquired the title of Bancho and the one who is nicknamed the Aloof Rebel. The Bancho title is a title a Digimon can only carry when it continuously battled fierce champions, without their spirits being broken. With this information we can assume that a Maymon fought very hard until it got this form, and it is thought that it acquired the title of Bancho from being able to avoid enemies without losing its own family as well in all kinds of predicaments. And just for your information, the Bancho Digivolution, as I love to call it, is pushing a Digimon to the Mega level regardless of the level they were before Digivolution. So to be honest, it might even have been that a rookie Digimon jumped to the Mega level and gained the Bancho title. And Bancho Digimon always wear a GARURUMON code, which is special as it negates the impact of physical attacks, and this defensive effect is often used to protect its companions. And when a Bancho Digimon dies, they pass their title on to another Digimon, and apparently there are even other Digimon with the title of Bancho that have yet to be discovered. And now, as a BanchoMamemon, it fights strongly in spite of its small stature and has a personality that sports its chivalrous spirit and deeply overflowing emotions. As it tries to rebel against the rules of the digital world, it lives an independent life. But it also similarly extends a hand to those Digimon who feel ill or who are isolated from the world. It usually takes them in and formed a group called the Maymon gang. However, continuing to betray the rules of the world is not an easy task for them, and although BanchoMamemon has had to fight those Digimon who aim to usurp it as leader under the pretense of a rebirth of the group several times over, the collective power of the Maymon gang has made those usurpers withdraw. Alright guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. BanchoMamemon, to my knowledge, is the final Maymon where we don't take into account the X variants. And I have to say that the reason why I enjoy this line is that it really shows how Digimon evolve based on what they absorb. Others digivolve via fighting, but many can simply digivolve by taking in data from various sources. And these changes won't necessarily make them stronger than the other, it could simply make them develop more expertise, as I like to call it, in certain aspects. But it's also possible that they grow into a higher level. What are your opinions about this line? I know many requested Maymon to be discussed, so here we are. I hope I did it justice. You let me know in the comment section, and also let me know how you view this Digimon. And in case you are new, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe so that this channel can evolve into the next level. And know that all Digimon related videos are placed in various Digimon playlists, which are always updated. That way you can catch up to newer and older videos. Small question, can you do me a solid by following my Instagram page? The name is the following, OhanuJ2. I would need Instagram for large projects, even though I absolutely detest even this platform, but it exists, so might as well make use of it, right?